Hello, everyone. My name is Cassandra Evans. Welcome to the OTE, preparing you to teach online for summer. I'm making this introductory video for you from my very messy, cramped office on Long Island, South Bay of Long Island. I just wanted to welcome you and show you kind of what a brief introductory video for your students might look like. I also wanted to give you a really hearty congratulations for making it to the end of the semester. This has been one I can't ever remember anything like this, right? But I also want to make sure that I can try to calm your nerves. I've been teaching online for about 3 years, and I've done hybrid before that. I started with online teaching 20 years ago when it was really, really at a low level of tech. We've come a long way. I still have a ton to learn. I've only been at SPS full-time since January. I transitioned to them from John Jay College in an academic advisor role, but I've always been teaching as an adjunct, probably 5 or 6 different places. I am now, thankfully, full-time at SPS only. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. Again, this is kind of like what I might do for students. As we move forward, you can think about a short introductory video you might do for students, things you might show. When we teach online, it's nice to personalize, if you can, to give students a little background about your professional work, your educational background, maybe 1 or 2 personal things. So as I'm moving forward in these slides, you might think about what you might do for your class introduction. Okay, so here's a personal thing. This is my dog Hops. He's an English Labrador, and he loves the water. This is something that I enjoy, particularly now. We've been spending a lot of time inside, but he has to get out every day. I'm very fortunate that we live close to the South Bay, so he can get out and go swimming and make me laugh a great deal. Here's him again. This is what I call my mental health. Getting out and watching him swim really helps me with my own anxiety. A little bit about my educational training. So I've lived in New York 10 years now, but I am from San Diego. I have 3 degrees from San Diego State. I have a bachelor's degree in journalism, a master's degree in rehabilitation counseling, a master's degree in philosophy. I did a lot of teaching in San Diego community colleges in philosophy, feminist ethics, ethics of gender, intro to general ethics, history of philosophy, and then, of course, logic and critical thinking, metaphysics and epistemology. So I haven't taught all of those online, though. I've only taught ethics 100% online, ethics, bioethics, and disability studies. When I came to New York, I did my PhD at Stony Brook in disability studies. And so that's where I'm teaching now, in the Department of Disability Studies here at CUNY at SPS. I'm thrilled about it. Really thrilled about it. So another personal thing about me, but I would share this with my students, try to continue to improve upon yourself, whether it's spending more time with your family. This is a picture, those of you who might have visual impairments, or if you can't see this picture very well, this is a picture of my daughter and my dog, who make me laugh a lot. And then also a picture of something I aspire to. I definitely cannot do this yoga pose. That is not me, but something that I'm trying to work on in my spare time, maybe more this summer. My professional background, so as I mentioned, I have a master's in counseling. I've done a lot of academic advisement for CUNY and then for California community colleges, as well as I've worked for veterans in doing folk rehab for the Veterans Administration. I do a lot of grant writing. I do love philosophy. And those of you who are teaching humanities, I might pick your brains because I'm actually doing humanities, disability in the humanities in the fall. This will be a prep for me. So that's something new. But I love talking business ethics, environmental ethics, medical ethics, and what a time we're in now, right, to be considering biomedical ethics. I'm also interested in gender, obviously disability studies, and writing. So my recent research has to do with, I don't know if any of you recognize some of these images, but for those who may not be able to see these images, these are pictures of 4 high-rises. Well, one is more of a low-rise, but they're very large properties. They are, I call them the Big Four in my research and in my publications. These are 4 large state asylums that were on Long Island. 2 of them are still standing, 2 of them are not. But because my research focuses on people with disabilities and specifically mental health and institutionalization, I interviewed many people who had transitioned out of one of the Big Four asylums here on Long Island into community-based mental health housing or services that were not necessarily housing, but maybe what we call apartment treatment programs, or they have some sort of roommate situation on Long Island, but I can talk about that for a long time. I'm kind of digressing. This is my research. I'm very interested in institutionalization, deinstitutionalization, what we have now, stigma, access to health care. Finally, these are just some logos you might see around that have to do with disability awareness. One is a picture of a brain. It's kind of like a cartoon picture. There's the very well-known picture of someone in a wheelchair moving forward. There's someone doing sign language, and then another person walking with a stick, a cane, to help them move around if they have visual impairment. So, as I would tell my students, in order to keep yourself calm and not worry too much, read your syllabus, ask questions, ask more questions, seek me out for help. I am by no means an expert in teaching online. I'm still learning a lot of tools, and I will say to you, the technology is always changing. But if you can get down the basics, and this is what we're going to go for, what are some of the pedagogical questions? What are some best practices? How can we think about universal design for accessibility for people with disabilities? And what are some of the places that you might not have maneuvered around in Blackboard that you can use that are just the general basics? So don't feel like in the next 3 weeks you have to become an expert. I am not, I will not be, but I'm leading you through with what I know and trying to make it a little bit easier, maybe a little more fun. And again, I hope to learn from you because I know a lot of you are specialists in the humanities for CUNY. So let's do this together. Let's make it fun. And thank you for being here.